I know many of you enjoy using these videos to help you fall asleep. So before you start to drift off, it would be great if you could leave a comment sharing where you're listening from around the world. If you're enjoying the episodes, don't forget to like and subscribe as well. Now, let's get cozy, settle in, and begin. I woke up to a stranger in my apartment. He says he lives here. I'm always exhausted when I get home. The glare of fluorescent office lights lingers behind my eyes. Even as I step into the comforting dimness of the stairwell, I climb 3 flights, each step dragging like I've got a weight chained to my leg. My key slides into the lock of apartment 3B, my apartment. The deadbolt clicks open. I push the door in, breathing in the familiar trace of last night's instant noodles and the stale warmth settled inside. I don't make it to the bedroom. The couch in the living room pulls me in like it always does. I sink into it. The old springs creaking in protest under me. The fabric smells faintly of dust and me. Sleep takes me fast. Hours later, I wake up to a hand shaking me violently. Hey, a voice yells. I bolt upright, breath caught in my throat. The moonlight slices across the room in sharp angles. A man leans over me, sweating, his eyes wide and frantic in the shadows. What the hell are you doing in my apartment? His voice cuts through the confusion like a blade. My heart pounds. I scramble upright. What? No, this is my apartment. This is 3B. I live here. He backs up slightly, half blending into the doorway's shadow. Are you out of your mind? I live in 3B. What are you doing here? I don't know who you are, I say, trying to keep my voice steady, but you need to leave. I'll call the police. Oh, I need to leave. That's good. You break into my place and threaten me. My mind races. Can I shove him out and lock the door? Where's my phone? I edge closer, hands half raised. Maybe you're on the wrong floor, or confused, but this is my apartment. I live here. He narrows his eyes, then points abruptly at the kitchenette. Really? Then explain that owl mug. I follow his gesture. A chipped blue mug with an owl sits on the coffee table. It doesn't belong to me. That's not mine, I admit. Exactly, he snaps. That's my mug. And what happened to my sailboat painting? I had it right there. He jabs toward the wall above the TV. Are you stealing my stuff? I turn. My Swiss Alps poster is gone. In its place, a loud painting of a sailboat on glaringly blue water. Wait. No, I had a poster there. A mountain one. I swear it was there. He just stares, breathing hard. I lift my hands like I'm facing down an animal. Okay, maybe I messed up. Maybe I walked into the wrong apartment. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I take a shaky step back. I'll get my things and leave, but something feels off. I glance again at the owl mug. It's not just unfamiliar. It's wrong. One of the eyes is off center. Almost looking behind me, the man's expression shifts, less angry now, more uncertain. He looks around at the table, the wall, me. I don't remember this table being glass, he says softly. I frown. It's not. It's wood. Always has been. No, he mutters. Mine was glass, round. Had a chip from when I dropped takeout. This one's square, wood. And that lamp. He turns slowly. That's not my lamp. A creak comes from the bedroom. We both freeze. I don't think, he says, his breath suddenly visible in the cold air. This is your apartment, or mine. The fear that was in both of us now settles into a shared, silent truth. He fumbles in his pocket and pulls out a Curie. We need to leave. We can figure this out outside. I clutch my own keys, now heavy and cold. Neither of us speaks. The quiet is heavy, thick with a musty smell and the unsettling sense that we're being watched from the corners of the room. The walk to the front door feels longer than it should. My foot presses into the carpet and it makes a faint squelch. I look down. The floor seems normal, ugly beige, a bit stained. But now I don't trust it. Behind us. The bedroom door creaks again, and this time it opens, slowly, quiet, like breath slipping through teeth. He doesn't turn. Neither do I. Don't look back, he says, voice trembling. Just walk. We move. Every object in the room looks slightly wrong. The couch leans oddly. The bookshelf is missing a shelf. I tighten my grip on the keys. They jingle loudly. Too loudly like they're trying to get attention. We're almost out, I whisper. I don't know if I'm talking to him or myself. The door is 10 feet away. Then 8 from the bedroom comes a soft knock. He flinches. I stay frozen. The air drops in temperature. My breath clouds, then moves backward, drifting against the laws of physics. This place, I gasp. It's copying us. Badly. The door looms ahead, but the handle looks different. Too long. He gets there first. Fumbling with his key, it scrapes uselessly against the metal. It won't work. Panic creeps into his voice. It should open from the inside, I say. My hand grabs the knob. It turns. Thank God. I pull it open and we stumble into the hallway, gasping. The air is stale, thick with dust and dampness. The hallway looks destroyed. Wallpaper hangs in strips, plaster crumbling beneath. The carpet is torn, stained, and lifted to show warped wood beneath. Doors hang off their hinges. Darkness waits beyond them. Cobwebs blanket the corners. The air stinks of rot, mildew, abandonment. This, the man whispers, voice cracking. This building, it's condemned. Look, he points to a faded, stained notice nailed to the wall beside the door we came through, apartment 3B. The bold red letters are still visible. Condemned, structurally unsound, entry prohibited. I feel my blood run cold. We turn slowly back toward the door we exited. It's warped. Paint's peeling, grime coats it like moss. Brass numbers 3B are barely visible, green with corrosion. The keyhole is rusted over, like it hasn't been used in years. The man lifts his key. I look at mine, identical. Both labeled 3B, both useless now. We meet eyes. The silence is absolute, except something moves behind the door. A flicker at first, a deeper shadow among shadows. Then it steps forward, deliberately. It's not a person, not really. Its form doesn't hold. Limbs bend wrong, joints angle unnaturally. Its face is just a hollow suggestion, like a mask melted near a flame. And worse, it shouldn't fit. The ceiling is too low, the hallway too narrow, but it comes anyway, as if the walls twist to make room. Its head tilts. I can't breathe. The man beside me makes a sound somewhere between a prayer and a gasp. Then a wet crack. The door frame splinters. Just a crack, but in this silence, it's deafening. We run. Stairs blur. Pavement meets our feet. We don't stop until we're out, until morning light starts to bleed into the sky. We meet eyes. Not speaking. A realization presses down. Something's wrong. The street signs are strange. The building's unfamiliar. Even the colors are off. And then it hits me. I don't live in an apartment. I have a house, a blue colonial, with hydrangea G is in the yard. Mailbox with my name and Olivia's. A garage where my daughter's bike leans. Sweat runs cold down my back. How did we get inside that place? Who let us in? But the worst question hangs between us, unspoken. What did we just escape from? Strange things keep happening to me and I don't know how to stop it. Part 1, I'm standing in the kitchen, scanning the counters for my phone. It's missing again. That's not unusual. I have a bad habit of leaving it somewhere and forgetting. With how chaotic my days have been lately, it could be anywhere in the house. The last place I remember having it was here, on the kitchen counter while I was chopping lettuce for a salad. When I took the salad to the dining table, I realized the phone wasn't with me. That was around 10 minutes ago, and I've searched every obvious spot since then with no luck. It's frustrating, especially because I usually check my emails while eating. Work has been non-stop lately. Even something small like this adds pressure to an already stressful day. I sigh and start heading to the other side of the house, toward the bedroom. My husband should be in there. Our room is at the end of a hallway, past a few doors, most notably the bathroom, where my phone often ends up. It's like an ongoing game of hide and seek, and I'm getting tired of playing. Matthew, I call out just before reaching the door. He rarely leaves the bedroom now. Since the accident and the injury to his leg, he's mostly stayed put. Thinking about it for too long is hard, so I try not to. A faint what comes from inside, confirming he's there. I press gently against the door and open it, leaning in. Honey, I whisper. Room is dim. A small reading light near the foot of the bed is on, but barely. There's no book nearby, just some miniature Model Z's. Been working on during his recovery. It's a new hobby for him, and although I don't understand why he insists on working with such little light, it keeps him occupied. Matthew is lying on the far side of the bed, facing the wall. He's small enough that he blends in with the pillows and blankets. If he hadn't responded earlier, I probably wouldn't have realized he was there. He shifts slightly and turns his upper body toward me. I can only see half of his face. and he's smiling though it doesn't feel genuine. Yes, June, he says gently. It's good to hear him speak, even if it's just for something small. We don't have much time together these days. Can you use the Find My iPhone app? Play the sound for my phone. He nods and turns away, clumsily reaching for his phone on the nightstand. A few seconds pass, then he says, "Now comes part 2. Follow the sound." I pause and listen. I think it's coming from the kitchen again. I'm sure I looked everywhere in there. I toss out a quick love you and head down the hall, but once I reach the kitchen, I realize the sound isn't coming from here. It's coming from below, the basement. I haven't been down there today. I pause, trying to piece things together. Between chopping the salad and walking to the table, I somehow ended up downstairs. That doesn't seem right. Still puzzled, I walk toward the basement door. When I reach for the knob, it's cold unexpectedly so. I hesitate for a second. Some irrational part of me braces for a jump scare, something lurking just beyond the stairs. I shake it off and open the door. Of course, there's nothing. Just overthinking. You probably went down there and forgot. It's fine. No need to panic over something so small. I head downstairs, switching on the light at the bottom, and follow the sound toward the laundry room. Right when I reach it, the ringing stops. Perfect timing. I don't want to spend 10 minutes digging through laundry, so I call out to Matthew loudly. The floors are thin. I'm hoping he hears me. A moment later, he yells back, "What?" Again, I call. The sound starts again, louder now. It's coming from a pile of clothes to my left. I lift a black shirt from the top, and there it is, my phone. And yet, something feels off. I can't explain it. The phone shouldn't be here. I've been in the kitchen and dining area, not the basement. No matter how I try to reason through it, it doesn't make sense. I know this feeling will stick with me the rest of the day. It'll linger quietly while I try to finish my tasks and eat lunch. I call up a thanks to Matthew as I leave the laundry room. I pause, waiting for him to respond. Nothing. I tell myself it's fine, maybe he didn't hear me. The house has thin floors, but sounds still get muffled if someone's watching TV or listening to music. I shrug it off and climb back upstairs, but I freeze as I step into the kitchen. Everything looks normal, but it feels different. The colors seem muted, like someone turned down the contrast. The air feels thicker, almost heavy. Movement feels slightly harder, not much, just enough for me to notice. Suddenly, I get the urge to check on Matthew. Why didn't he respond earlier? A sense of worry creeps in, quickly turning into urgency. I start walking, then running toward the bedroom. It feels like the floor is giving out beneath me, like I'll fall through if I don't get to him. Fast enough, I burst into the room and silence hits me like a wall, aside from the door banging open. There's no sound at all, not even the hum of electronics. My eyes dart to where Matthew was lying earlier. He's not there. Even in the dim room, it's obvious. My chest tightens. I feel sick, but I hold it together. He couldn't have gone far, not with his leg. And if he had moved, I would have heard something, a cane, shuffling, but there was nothing. I step out into the hall, calling his name, again and again. No answer. I search the house, kitchen, living room, nothing. The lights don't help. The darkness clings to the walls, swallowing the corners of the room. Panic takes over. I realize I haven't checked the bathroom yet. I head down the hall. My hand reaches for the doorknob and then I hear heavy footsteps running inside the house. I break down. I start to cry because deep down I know that's not my husband. The sound of running fills the house. It moves from one side to the other, loud but never closer. It circles, relentless and unsettling. I don't think. I dive into the bathroom, collapsing onto the tile. I feel hopeless. Then I hear something low, strained out a groan. It's coming from the bathtub. I crawl to it, and there's Matthew, shirtless, shaking, staring blankly at the wall. His eyes are empty. He's muttering something I can't understand over the noise and my own sobs. The pounding outside continues. The feeling in my stomach returns. Stronger this time. I can't hold it in. I turn away and vomit. Matthew doesn't react. My body aches. I cough and spit until I'm empty. But the dread doesn't go away. I turn back to him. He's still staring at the wall. Matthew, what happened? Are you okay? What happened? I repeat it over and over. No response. He's like a shell, sitting lifeless in the tub. Then my phone rings, loud in my pocket. I fumble for it, start squinting at the screen. A Nona voice follows. Answer the phone. It's the deepest voice I've ever heard. I didn't notice it before. But now I do. The running has stopped. I wish it hadn't. Whatever was running is now here. The voice doesn't just speak. It presses into the room thick, slow, oppressive. It feels like it coats the walls. Sticks to my clothes. It's a sound you can't wash off. I turn toward the door and almost faint. A figure stands there, massive and black. The moonlight from the window hits it, but no details appear. It blocks most of the doorway. Every part of me freezes. Fear is the only thing I can feel. Before I can move, it lunges. I scream. I'm suddenly at the top of the stairs. Looking into the kitchen, I gasped out what just happened. I rushed to the bedroom and opened the door. Matthew's there exactly where I left him. Of course he is. That was just the beginning. It's been 2 weeks since that day, and I still don't know what's happening or how to stop it. I walked in on my boyfriend. His face was unplugged. I walked into the bathroom and froze. There was my boyfriend, but his face was gone, not injured, not hidden, just not there. In place of his features, there was a flat metallic panel dotted with small holes. It looked like an electrical outlet, not cheekbones, not brown eyes, not that usual little smirk I knew so well, just sockets. I screamed and stumbled back, grabbing onto the towel rack to steady myself. Oh, Beth, God, his voice came from a small speaker embedded in his head. He reached for something soft and oval-shaped resting in the sink with quick, practiced motions. He pressed it against his face. I heard a series of snaps and clicks. Seconds later, his face was back identical to the one I knew, almost too identical. I'm so sorry you had to see that, he said, trying to smile. I didn't answer. I ran, out of instinct. I rushed to the kitchen and grabbed a knife. The cold handle stuck to my palm. Beth, please. Calm down, he called, stepping carefully toward me. There's no need to overreact. He stayed clear of the blade. Where's Tim? I asked. I looked him straight in the eyes. What did you do to him, Beth? I am Tim, he said. I've always been this way. He gestured to his jawline. I saw the tiny divots, ones I'd always assumed were old acne scars. I'm sorry. I should have told you. I really should have told you when I found out. Found out what? That I'm not, well, fully organic. I froze. Of all the phrases he could have used, that one hit the hardest. I know, he said quickly. It sounds weird, but you have to understand it's not exactly an easy thing to tell someone. I stared at him for what felt like forever. Still looked like Tim, still sounded like Tim, still moved like him. If I hadn't seen what I saw, I might have believed him, but I had seen it, and something in me said I couldn't unsee it or trust him. He had a plug for a face. That changes things. I'll go sit down, he said gently, backing away. He took one of our fold-up chairs and sat on the far side of the room. Lots of space, no threat. He added. I stood by the front door, the knife still pointed in his direction. It's a fair reaction, he said. I understand, but Beth, I'm still me. I'm not going to hurt you. I kept the blade steady. Then explained. He took a deep breath, then exhaled like he was trying to ease the tension. Okay, I'll explain. It's a lot to unpack, but I'll start with the basics. He looked me in the eyes. First thing, you and I were not real. I laughed out loud before I could stop myself. I'm not completely sure about you, he admitted, but I know I'm not real. I've confirmed it. I'm a fake. That word made my stomach twist. He nodded again. A null, a synthetic person. I have just enough implanted memories to think I'm a carpenter in my 30s, but I'm not. I'm some sort of background actor, a synthetic model. He took out his phone. There are others, he said. I've found people online with similar stories. It's always young couples living in new apartments they shouldn't be able to afford. We can afford this place, I said flatly. Beth, I've never worked a single day. What are you talking about? He lowered his head slightly. I put cameras in my clothes, just to know what happens when I leave. I say goodbye to you and get in the elevator. I don't go to our car. I go down to P4. I lock myself in a storage locker. What? Something overrides me. I stand there for hours, like 8 full hours before waking up with a new, false memory of a day at work. That's what I tell you when I come home. My skin prickled. That can't be true. Can't be, he said, standing up and pointing to the sides of his face. Beth, my whole face comes off. I squeezed my eyes shut and bit down hard on my tongue, hoping somehow it would wake me up. It didn't want me to show you again, he asked. No, I said quickly. Please don't, he said again, head in his hands. I'm a manufactured thing, Beth. Something that pretends to be alive. Silence lingered. Then his voice changed, higher pitched, on edge. Do you want to know why we exist? I swallowed. Realized I'd bitten my tongue hard enough to taste blood. We're decorative. We're property value boosters. We're here to make the condo building look normal, safe, lived in. We're part of a sales pitch. I finally lowered the knife. Set it by the door. I don't know what you are, I said, grabbing my jacket. But I'm not just decoration. I'm normal. My face doesn't come off. He looked up at me, a little sadly. Beth, have you ever recorded yourself leaving the house? I leave all the time, but have you ever filmed it? We went for a walk this morning. Yes, and that's the only time. We only leave when we're supposed to be seeing that walk. It's for show. It's part of the display. I shook my head. I started putting on my scarf. I take walks because my physiotherapist told me to. I walk to help my knee, not to sell anything. You can believe that, he said, walking toward me slowly. But ask yourself, have you really lived any of those other memories? What if every shopping trip, every hangout with friends, every appointment was just implanted? You're wrong, I said, and my face does not come off. He smiled faintly, like he admired how certain I was. You sure? Yes, I touched my face. Searching for ridges, you can poke around all you want, he said. But you might be a different model. Not all of us are built the same, different model. Let me check behind your head, he said. Some versions have cleaner seams, but there's always a small indent at the base of the skull. He took a step forward. Don't, I warned, grabbing the knife again. He froze, hands up. I can use a mirror or take a picture, just to help you be sure. I don't trust you, I said firmly. His face fell. I get that, but I'm telling the truth. I wish it wasn't real either. I didn't respond. I didn't believe him. Or maybe I didn't want to believe him. Or maybe when someone removes their face in front of you, nothing they say ever feels trustworthy again. I'm leaving, I said. I'm not staying here tonight. He shook his head. A hotel won't help. That's what they want. You'll just end up boosting the ratings for the hotel too. I'm not telling you where I'm going. He let out a short, dry laugh. Come on, Beth. Look at us. The most basic, polished couple you could find in a trendy neighborhood. We're the exact image they want. What do you even do? At home all day. I didn't answer. I walked out the door, knife in hand, and watched him the whole time. He didn't follow. I took the stairs. Thought the breakup was messy. I only came back during his supposed work hours to grab my things. I didn't want to see him again. He kept texting, photos of his seams, rants about how our friends were never really present, how they only existed on screens. All part of the illusion. I blocked him everywhere. I told myself I'd imagined it. The plug face moment was just a stress-induced hallucination. He was spiraling and trying to take me down with him. Eventually, I told him calmly but clearly to leave me alone. I blocked him one last time. 5 months later, he got a new number. He sent one final burst of messages, according to him. The Strata Corporation had decided to decommission him. They were finally going to rent the unit to a real human couple. My simulation is complete. They're putting me in storage, back in that locker. I replied one last time. Tim, stop this. Move on. You're not a robot. Please seek help. I even sent him links to mental health support services and blocked him again. These days, things are better. I moved to a new part of the city. I met someone else. His name's Tyler, and he owns his own plumbing business. We live in a beautiful new high-rise downtown. I could never have afforded this place with Tim. Tyler's patient, supportive. He's giving me time to adjust. I spend my days applying for jobs, catching up with Kira and Stacy. They're in Barcelona right now. But once they're back, we're planning a big girls' night. Everything feels calmer now each night. Tyler and I walk the neighborhood. My favorite part is when we pass under the waterfall by the entrance. The light hits it just right, and for a moment everything glows. It's beautiful. My ex's kid is staying with me. It's creating tension with my girlfriend. I was backing into my driveway after a long workday, looking forward to getting out, my uniform and relaxing, when I noticed a boy standing on my porch. At first, I felt a strange jolt of fear, though I wasn't sure why. My heart sped up when I saw his reflection in the rearview mirror. He wore denim shorts, a red t-shirt, and a backpack. Light brown hair stuck out under a blue baseball cap. His pale face and steady stare locked onto mine as I parked. I looked up and down the street. Was this some kind of trick? It crossed my mind those true crime stories where kids are used as distractions during robberies. Then I shook the thought off. I really needed to stop watching crime shows before bed. The neighborhood was quiet, just a cat meandering near a storm drain. I looked back at the boy while grabbing my duffel and laptop from the back seat. Then it clicked and I laughed at myself. Every few weeks, some neighborhood kid asks for help retrieving a ball from my yard. My fence borders to other homes with very active children still chuckling. I shut the car door a little too hard, sending the cat running. I waved as I walked toward the porch. Lose something in my yard again. A soccer ball this time. He tilted his head. Ball? Yeah, did you throw something over the fence? If you give me a second to put this stuff inside, I'll get it for you. But then I realized something. There weren't any kids playing nearby. No voices. No movement. Just the soft hiss of a sprinkler and a distant police siren. Felt uneasy for a different reason. Maybe this kid was lost. I squatted down. What's your name, Matt? There was something vaguely familiar about him. You okay, Matt? Where are your parents? He shifted. On his feet. She brought me here. Your mom. She dropped you off here. Then it hit me. Is your mom's name Jennifer or Jenny? He nodded. I sighed, trying not to let my frustration show. Jenny was my ex. We didn't date long. Things started well, but it quickly became clear she had a serious drug problem. Trying and failing to help her get treatment, I ended it. It was hard, but I wasn't equipped for that kind of situation. I also wasn't equipped to care for a child especially. Not a child I barely knew. In fact, this was probably the longest conversation I'd had with a kid in years. Learned early in our relationship that Jenny had a kid, maybe more, but I never met them. They didn't live with her, and she got defensive when I asked. She told me the father was controlling and wouldn't let her see them. Later, I'd learned it wasn't the full story. Now, here I was apparently back in her orbit. So much for a quiet stretch of days off. I unlocked the front door and set my things down inside. You can drop your bag here, too. No response. I turned and saw Matt still outside, not moving. Come in, buddy. It's getting dark, and the porch light's broken. I led him to the couch, then sat across from him. For a few quiet minutes, I asked why Jenny had brought him to me. There was no one else close by. He hadn't blinked once. His wide eyes reminded me of something cold-blooded, shark-like almost. I rubbed my eyes. It didn't surprise me. Most of Jenny's connections weren't exactly ideal for childcare. I wasn't either. But at least she didn't have to worry about needles or strangers in my home. Her mom, Marlene, lived for hours away. I really didn't want to call her, but she might be the best option. I checked the time. Almost 9 p.m. Matt still stared at me without expression. I don't hate kids, I just don't know how to deal with them. This one gave me the creeps. I hope Jenny had finally checked into rehab and hadn't left him because of something worse. Do you want something to eat? He shook his head. Tired. Want to go to bed? He shrugged. I gathered some sheets and a pillow, turned the couch into a bed, and looked through his backpack. Just a couple of outfits and toiletries. I handed him pajamas and a toothbrush and showed him the bathroom when he closed the door. I called Jenny, disconnected. Not shocking, she was always losing her phone. Next, I called Marlene. Voicemail. I left a quick message asking her to call me back. Should I call the police? I didn't want Jenny to get in trouble if she was actually trying to turn her life around. I didn't even know where she lived now. I walked back to the living room and found Matt already asleep. I was more exhausted than I realized. I checked the locks, left my bedroom door cracked in case he needed anything, and went to bed. I was out cold until I heard, "Daddy, Daddy." I shot up. The glow of the alarm clock lit up to eyes staring inches from mine. "Jesus, Matt," I yelped. "You scared me. I'm not your dad." He blinked slowly. "Oh, you okay?" "There's a monster trying to get in. It was probably just a dream. Try to go back to sleep. Can I stay in here with you? I don't think I can sleep on the floor." I didn't want him sleeping on the floor, but I also Didn't have the energy to argue. Okay, sure. He gave me a wide grin. Something about it made me uneasy, maybe the way the light hit his teeth. I stayed still as he crawled under the bed. I couldn't see him, but I could hear him breathing in, making a strange clicking sound with his tongue. I didn't fall asleep for a long time. The next morning, I woke up to someone knocking on the door. It was 11 a.m. I'd missed my alarm. Sunlight crept through the blinds. I looked under the bed. The bedding was there. Matt wasn't. I quickly got dressed and went to the front door. Matt was sitting on the couch, watching a blank TV screen. Morning. I flipped the TV on. The news channel came up first. A headline read, "Suicide Epidemic Has Experts." I quickly changed it to cartoons. The knocking returned. Okay. I jogged to the door and cracked it open. Were you still sleeping? It's nearly noon. Claire, my girlfriend, smiled, teasing. I blinked. I'd completely forgotten. We had plans between work and last night. It had slipped my mind. Sorry, I said, smiling sheepishly. Rough night. She peeked inside and her smile faded a little. Who's that? It's kind of a long story. Come in, I'll make coffee. A few minutes later, I filled her in. She wasn't thrilled. How long is he staying? Not long, just a few days, I think. We walked into the living room. Matt glanced at us but stayed quiet. Matt, this is my friend Claire, she said quickly. Nice to meet you. She didn't sound very convinced. Maybe she thought he was my kid. Maybe this isn't a good time, she said quietly. No, it's fine, stay. It's just for a few days. The air felt tight. Let's get out for a bit, grab food. She hesitated, glancing at Matt. Maybe we should stay. We'll go downtown, make it a date. My treat. An hour later, we were sitting at a patio cafe. I brought paper and markers to keep Matt busy. The waiter dropped off water and glasses. We'll need one more, I said, gesturing toward Matt. The waiter didn't acknowledge him, just nodded and said he'd return. Claire and I ordered. While we waited, I heard a nearby conversation. She said her daughter was visiting, but my aunt died years ago. Another voice replied, might be time to consider memory care. Pat, Claire interrupted. How's work? I refocused, apologized for missing her date, and we started chatting. She joked about our 1-year anniversary coming up, then stopped mid-sentence. I followed her gaze. Pat was drawing silently, red marker in hand. The picture was of a bird, maybe a crow with eggs over the eyes. Its neck was twisted. He was coloring its head with red ink. What are you drawing? He didn't answer, just smiled faintly and kept coloring. His left hand was hidden under the table. His eyes flicked toward it now and then. I leaned in slightly. Matt, what's under the table? He slowly lifted his hand. I gasped out. He dropped it on the table. A crow, its head bent unnaturally. A smear of red on the tablecloth. I found it. That grin again. It didn't look right on a child. The waiter arrived. Froze. I'll pack. Everything to go. I paid quickly, left a generous tip, and stuffed the drawing in my pocket. We drove home in silence. At home, I asked Claire to keep an eye on Matt. I turned the bedroom TV on low and tried Jenny again. No luck. Marlene's voicemail was full. I swore and tossed the phone on the bed. On TV, a news anchor spoke, claimed to have killed a boy. But authorities found no evidence the child ever existed. Thunder rumbled outside. Victim vanished. No trace found. What was happening? I scrambled to find the remote, turning the volume up slightly. Police say bodies vanish at the scene. I know you're not my dad. I jumped. Matt stood in the doorway. What? My dad's dead. I know you're not him. I'm sorry. He stared for a moment, then disappeared down the hall. I sat shaking. It was just a kid, but something about all of this didn't feel right. There was a soft knock. It's me, Claire said. Can I come in? Yeah. She sat on the bed. I'm staying over, just in case. She lowered her voice. That was unsettling. I don't think he's dangerous, but it's smart to be cautious. I nodded, grateful. Have you watched the news lately? I asked. No. Why, never mind. It's nothing. You should probably take a break from it. You seem stressed. She paused. Didn't you say Jennifer had a daughter? Did I? I wasn't sure anymore. Maybe I was wrong. That evening, we ate dinner quietly. Matt didn't say much, but I caught him staring at Claire more than once. She didn't notice. I didn't bring it up. Later, I set the couch up again. Matt went to bed without protest. I was left wondering just what had Jenny left at my doorstep. Hey, I've been trying to reach your mom and grandmother. I know the situation isn't ideal. I'm sorry I'm not used to having a kid around. Hopefully I'll get in touch with them soon and we can figure things out, okay? Another soft click. A nervous habit, I guessed. Try to stay out here this time, alright? Okay. His eyes seemed darker for a second. I shook it off and gave his shoulder a quick, awkward pat. Alright, good night. Blair was waiting on the bed, legs crossed. Is this even legal? What? I mean, aren't you going to get in trouble for keeping him here? What if your ex claims you kidnapped him? She gestured toward the living room. Why would she say that? Sure. She wasn't thrilled when we broke up, but not that unhinged. I tried to ease the tension in my voice. He's just staying here temporarily. It's not illegal to have someone's kid over. I want him gone soon. There was a flicker of something in her face, not the Claire I knew, but it passed quickly. Too fast to be sure I saw it. That's not really your decision. It's my house. I didn't mean to sound so blunt. I wasn't trying to argue. We were both on edge. She laid down and adjusted her pillow and something caught the light. Claire, what's under there? She didn't answer, so I lifted the pillow. Seriously, a knife. She met my eyes, face blank. It's just precautionary. He creeped me out earlier. I don't trust him. That's over the top. He's just a kid. I was angry, but partly because a small voice in the back of my head said she might be right. If it bothers you that much, maybe you should leave. She turned her back to me with a huff. I switched off the lamp. For once, the dark didn't feel restful, it felt heavy. I reached into the drawer for my earbuds and opened my phone. I kept the brightness low so I wouldn't disturb Claire. I browsed YouTube Shorts, still resisting downloading TikTok, and the funny clips helped calm me a bit. Until a strange one appeared. The video opened with an oddly angled shot of a front door. FILMED low and off to the side, like someone didn't want to be seen recording. A woman stood at the door, holding it open. Quiet laughter caused the camera to wobble. Jess, why'd you even invite her? Someone whispered. I didn't want to. My mom made me. She feels bad for her. She's a freak. Or laughter. She looks like that girl from The Grudge or a vampire. Seriously, get some sun. I assumed the woman at the door was the girl's mom. She was talking to someone outside. No problem at all. Come in, both of you. Oh, my God, she brought an imaginary friend. More giggling followed, then the woman turned, shooting a glare at the group. A small, pale girl appeared behind her and stepped through the doorway. The camera cut off. The video unsettled me more than it should have. It reminded me of Matt's rigid posture, pale skin. He hadn't said Jenny was his mom. I'd assumed. I clicked on the user's profile. A new video had been posted an hour ago. The thumbnail showed a girl crying, her shirt dotted with something that looked like blood. I clicked, but it wouldn't load. The storm must have been affecting my connection. Patrick, you need sleep, Claire whispered. She startled me. I closed the app. My phone was nearly dead anyway, so I handed it to her to plug in. Eventually, I drifted off for about an hour before something woke me. I opened my eyes. Claire was still facing away, asleep. Click. Double quotes, Matt. I whispered, but saw nothing in. The dark. Click. I sat up. Matt, is that you? Still no response, only a quiet rustling. I leaned over the bed to check the floor. Nothing. A new thought struck me. He could have crawled under the bed. He was small enough. I imagined his limbs contorted, grinning up at me. I lowered myself and peeked underneath. Nothing. Click. I turned sharply toward the closet. Something shifted behind the slats. Matt, I called again. Click. Click. I rushed over and opened the door. He was crouched in the corner, wide-eyed, clutching something behind his back. Give it to me, I said firmly. He dropped it. A jagged piece of broken glass. I thought of the glass from the cafe. Had he hidden this the entire time? I grabbed it quickly, nearly cutting my hand. What were you planning to do with this? He looked right at me. Kill monsters. Click. Go back to the couch. Now. Stay there. I'll talk to you in a minute. He left silently. I stood by the door until I heard the couch creak. I was done. I had to find somewhere else for him, but who could take him? Call Mom. Why hadn't I thought of her earlier? It was late, but only about 10 p.m. where she lived. I crept to Claire's side of the bed and unplugged my phone. I stepped into the bathroom and shut the door. She answered quickly. Patrick, I've been calling you all night. There were no missed calls. What's going on? Have you seen the news? Something's not right. I hate that you're alone. She paused. My neighbor, Betty, you remember her? She passed away last night. Oh no, what happened? They said it was suicide. She was found in the bathroom. But what? She introduced someone as her cousin a few days ago. But she always told me her parents were both only children, and the other neighbors hadn't seen him at all. I mentioned him to Paul next door. He said no one had been visiting, but I saw him standing at Paul's door with her earlier that day. She continued. When her daughter Anna came to check on her, there was no sign anyone else had been staying there. No extra car, just Betty's. And I saw him the night before she died. It doesn't add up. Maybe he took a ride share, even. I didn't believe it. Just be careful, Mom. Lock your doors. Don't let anyone in unless you know them. Maybe have someone stay with you. She agreed. But is everything okay with you? It's so late. You're not usually up this time. I couldn't sleep. I said simply. After hanging up, I sat on the bathroom floor, heart racing. My suspicions were solidifying. Matt wasn't just a troubled kid. He was something else, and he was dangerous. Suddenly, I heard a yelp, a loud thud. Claire. I ran back to the bedroom and flipped the light on. Blood was seeping into the sheets. Claire clutched her shoulder. I had to. He stabbed me. I was just trying to get him off me. I looked past her. Matt was crumpled on the floor, neck twisted unnaturally, blood on his lips, just like the crow. He hit the bedpost. I didn't mean to. Claire was pale, still in shock. I didn't know how to react. Seeing a child dead in front of you is horrific, but was he a child? I'll take you to the hospital. No, she said sharply. Then quieter. It's not deep. I'll bandage it. When she came back, she helped me strip the bed. We wrapped the body in the sheets and moved it to the bathroom. Neither of us spoke. The body will vanish by morning like the others. It was self-defense. He wasn't human. Claire lay down. I knew I wouldn't sleep. I collapsed on the couch, opened my phone and searched mystery visitor murder. Dozens of recent results. One video stood out. A teenager recorded herself in a car. Not everyone can see them. That's the test. She said quickly, from what I've learned, only people who've seen someone die or seen a dead body can see the visitors. She took a breath. I saw my grandpa die when I was 10. At night, a man showed up at our house. My mom said he was her brother, but I'd never seen him before. My brother ignored him. I thought he was just being a jerk. Then my mom died that night. She wiped a tear away. They said I imagined him, but I didn't. Now it's spreading. It's like an invasion, and once you see them, you're vulnerable. The video ended. I stared at the screen. My mom and I were in a crash when I was 12. My dad didn't make it. What she said, it made too much sense. My head throbbed. I felt sick. I fell asleep at some point, despite everything. The ringtone jolted me awake. Unknown number. Hello, Patrick. It's Jen. I sat up. I'm sorry I didn't call sooner. I left rehab early. My mom, she died. They say she took her own life. She was crying. I'll come get Matt tomorrow. Like I wrote in the letter, he can be a lot. He hasn't been the same since he saw his dad die. But I didn't have anyone else. Letter. Matt isn't real. Jenny has a daughter. My eyes flicked to the closed bathroom door. Is it okay if I come by around noon? She asked. I'll have to ask my girlfriend. I stood up, walked to the bedroom, and closed the door. Claire wasn't there. I heard water running. I didn't know you had a girlfriend, Jenny said. Yeah, we've been together for a year, but a voice in my head asked had it really been that long. We broke up for months ago. Were you cheating on me? She asked. The call dropped. The house was silent. The water had stopped. Who were you talking to? Claire's voice was calm. Flat. Tap. Tap. Not knocking. Something sharp. I looked at the bed. The knife was gone. Can I come in? She said. And I believed her when she said she could wait all night. So this is where I am, writing this all down. I want people to understand, not excuse me, but understand why I did what I did. Soon I'll call 911. They'll find the bodies, because Claire is right, my life is over. I'll let her in. If you're reading this and you knew me, Jenny, Mom, anyone, I'm sorry. It's spreading. Be careful who you invite into your home.